Have you ever wondered what it takes to challenge a giant and not just survive, but rewrite the rules of the game? This isn't a story from a fantasy novel. It's the real-life saga of a company that started as a small challenger and grew into a global semiconductor titan. This is the story of Advanced Micro Devices, a journey of resilience, innovation, and an unyielding will to win. Our story begins on May 1st, 1969, in Sunnyvale, California. In the heart of what would soon be known as Silicon Valley, a small group of 8 visionaries, led by the charismatic Jerry Sanders, left their jobs at Fairchild Semiconductor to chase a new dream. They pooled their life savings and founded AMD. Their initial ambition was not to topple giants, but simply to find a place in the burgeoning electronics market. In these early days, the company's focus was humble and practical, manufacturing logic, integrated circuits, and linear circuits. They were a small fish in a rapidly expanding pond, meticulously building a reputation for quality and reliability. It was a slow, deliberate start, a period of laying the foundation stone by stone. Far from the global stage they would one day command, the world of microprocessors, the very brains of computers, was dominated by a single name, Intel. For AMD, it seemed like an impenetrable fortress. But in 1975, a small crack of opportunity appeared. AMD made its first strategic move into the CPU market by producing the AM9080, reverse-engineered yet legal, clone of Intel's popular 8080 microprocessor. This wasn't a declaration of war, but a quiet, calculated first step onto the battlefield. A signal that a new contender was learning the rules of the game. The 1980s heralded an era of direct confrontation. The personal computer revolution was underway, with IBM's PC setting the standard. To ensure a steady supply of processors, IBM required its main supplier, Intel, to have a second source manufacturer. This led to a pivotal moment in 1982, when AMD signed a licensing agreement with Intel to produce x86 chips. For a time, the two companies were partners, with AMD manufacturing chips under Intel's design. This cooperation gave AMD invaluable experience and a secure foothold in the booming PC market. However, the partnership was fraught with tension. Disputes over technology ownership and the terms of the agreement eventually led to a bitter legal battle. Intel sought to end the second sourcing arrangement, threatening to cut off AMD's lifeline. Faced with this existential threat, AMD made a decision that would define its future. Instead of succumbing, they decided to fight back. They would not just clone Intel's designs anymore. They would create their own. As the millennium approached, AMD was poised for its most audacious move yet, one that would usher in its first golden age. In 1999, the company unveiled the Athlon processor. This was not just another chip. It was a masterpiece of engineering that sent shockwaves through the entire industry. The Athlon was a performance powerhouse, and a historic milestone. It became the first x86 CPU to officially break the 1 GHz speed barrier, beating its rival, the mighty Intel Pentium III, to the punch. For the first time, AMD wasn't just competing on price, it was leading on performance. The world took notice. The name Athlon became synonymous with speed and power, cementing AMD's reputation as a top-tier chip designer. But they didn't stop there. In 2003, AMD once again outmaneuvered its larger rival by introducing the Athlon 64. This was the world's first commercial processor to support the 64-bit x86-264 architecture. While Intel was still focused on its 32-bit roadmap, AMD had opened the door to a new era of computing, enabling systems to address vast amounts of memory and handle more complex workloads than ever before. This forward-thinking move established a new industry standard that is still in use today. Riding this wave of success, AMD set its sights on another critical segment of the tech world, graphics. In 2006, in a bold and expensive move, AMD acquired the Canadian graphics card giant ATI Technologies for a staggering $5.4 billion. With this acquisition, the legendary Radeon brand of GPUs became part of the AMD family. This strategic move positioned AMD as the only company in the world with high-performance CPU and GPU technology, setting the stage for future innovations in integrated graphics and heterogeneous computing. The golden age was in full swing and AMD seemed unstoppable. However, The path to greatness is rarely a straight line. The massive $5.4 billion acquisition of ATI, while strategically brilliant, placed an immense financial strain on AMD. The debt from the deal was substantial. Integrating the two large companies proved to be a complex and costly challenge. Just as AMD was grappling with these internal pressures, the world was plunged into the 2008 global financial crisis. The market for PCs and electronics contracted sharply, hitting AMD's revenues hard. Compounding these problems, a series of product delays and a resurgent Intel, which had launched its highly successful Core architecture, saw AMD's processors fall behind in performance and efficiency. The company began to bleed money, posting quarter after quarter of significant losses. The golden age had given way to a period of deep crisis. The company's very survival was in question. It was a dark time, a period of struggle where many wondered if the challenger had finally been defeated. To stay alive, AMD had to make a painful but necessary decision. Recognizing that the immense cost of building and maintaining its own chip fabrication plants was unsustainable, AMD spun off its manufacturing division in 2009, creating a new, independent company called Global Foundries. This move transformed AMD into a fables semiconductor company, allowing it to shed massive overhead and focus all its resources on what it did best: designing world-class chips. It was a desperate gamble, a radical restructuring born from a fight for survival. This period tested the company's resolve to its absolute limits, forcing it to retreat, regroup, and prepare for one of the most remarkable comebacks in corporate history. From the ashes of this crisis, a new leader emerged who would orchestrate an astonishing revival. In 2014, Dr. Lisa Su, a brilliant engineer with a deep understanding of the semiconductor industry, was appointed CEO. She inherited a company that was struggling with its market share at an all-time low and its product lineup lagging far behind the competition. But where others saw a company on the brink of collapse, Dr. Su saw untapped potential. She laid out a clear and audacious vision. AMD would once again be a leader in high-performance computing. To achieve this, she focused the entire company's efforts on a single make-or-break project, a completely new CPU architecture codenamed Zen. The development of Zen was an all-in bet, a monumental undertaking that consumed the company's resources for years. In 2017, the bet paid off spectacularly. AMD launched the Ryzen line of CPUs. Powered by the new Zen architecture, Ryzen delivered a massive generational leap in performance, offering a stunning number of cores and threads at prices that shattered the market's expectations. It created a seismic shock in the PC industry, reigniting fierce competition and offering consumers more choice and value than they had seen in a decade. That same year, AMD brought the Zen architecture to the lucrative server market with the EPYC line of processors, directly challenging Intel's long-held dominance in the data center. The comeback was real, and it was powerful. Under Lisa Su's leadership, AMD has continued to push the boundaries of technology. They consistently adopted advanced manufacturing processes, like 7-nanometer technology, ahead of their competitors, giving their chips a crucial edge in performance and power efficiency. The Ryzen 5000 series, based on the Zen 3 architecture, was widely regarded as having surpassed Intel in many key performance metrics, a feat once thought impossible. Today, AMD is not just competing, it is leading in multiple arenas. The company is aggressively expanding into the explosive fields of artificial intelligence with powerful accelerators like the MI300X, and it continues to be a dominant force in supercomputing and data centers, powering some of the world's fastest machines. From its humble beginnings as a small startup to its near-death experience and its incredible resurgence, the journey of AMD is a testament to the power of persistence, innovation, and unwavering belief. The relentless focus on restructuring and the bold faith placed in the Zen architecture transformed AMD from an underdog, often seen as the dark side, into a leading force that sets the pace in the global semiconductor industry. They have completed an unimaginable journey, proving that they are not just a challenger, but a true leader, reshaping performance standards and inspiring a new generation of innovators. This is the story of how a determined group of people dared to dream, fought through adversity, and ultimately changed the world of technology forever.